Think we are getting it up. Give me a second to make this thing work. All right, cool. Getting it up. All right, cool. Yeah, we got them. All righty. And how can I do this? All right, so let me drop this screen. Hold on one second. Guys, I got like 20 or 30 screens. All right, so let me drop this one. I'll move. How should I do this? Okay, I'll move you here. And now I'll drop the rest of y'all down there. I'll move you over here. Then I'll put you up here. And go from here. Let's hit this in. Oh, cool. We're finally in profit on that one. Good, 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 good. Been waiting on your slow behind all day. All right, so now we're going to swap screens. Okay, share number 2. And there we are. All right, guys, we should be looking at my trading screen now instead. And I'm going to move that one up there. All right, cool. And I'll move you up here as well. So there we are. Okay, guys. So let me turn on the chat just for a second so that I can check and make sure you guys can hear me. If you guys can hear me, okay. Can you type a number 10 in the box, please? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What a wonderful day. Great morning to you all. If you are in the Futrix program, this is our last class. So if you want to hang out in here, you can. But if not, go ahead into the other room to make the bread and get fed. All right. So live in front of you guys for the copycat members. Let me check this and see whether I want to keep it rolling or not. Here's our target. Do I need to be greedy? I can leave it in. Let's see. Let's leave it and let's see. If it break past support, we're good. If it stops at this support again, let's go ahead and just close it. Take our 35 pips and call it a day. Get your money. Get the money. Get the money. What you say, Uncle P? Get the money. Get the money. This is a live trade for the copycat members. Took it the other day. A lot of you guys, the markets have been very, very, very slow. As of right now, they're just really, really slow. And there's nothing you can do about that. Hey, just take what you can get and keep it moving. I'm seeing this sitting on top of this rock of support. So as it comes close to here, let's see what happens. Let's check the reaction. All right, let's just take the 35, call it a day. Thank God for whatever you get. So copycat members, I'm closing this live trade in front of you for 35 pips. But I'm like, dang, bro, if we let it go a little bit further, nah, we're going to close this thing up. Close. Take your 35. All right, you got money in your pocket. You got money in your pocket, copycat family. All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Praise God. Thank you for joining me. SK say you get the money, you get the honey. Yes, baby. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So we didn't close a trade live in front of you guys. I didn't want to close it until you guys were able to see the trade. So let's go over this setup. And then, this is our final day. So I want to share some thoughts with you guys as well. By the way, Dr. Miles Monroe says something very important. Uh, And I was literally thinking about this before I was listening to his message this morning. I was started off poor. Give me 1 second, you guys. Give me 1 second. All right, sorry about that. Oh, one more thing. I want to make any noise. Nancy's in her office. She's in a business meeting. All right, so I was thinking about this, and I want to share this concept with you guys as we're looking over the charts for our last time. Make sure that if you have any questions about charts, trades, even life, anything that you have, this is our final class after all these years. Man, it's been several years I've been doing this class with you guys, so um, it's cool. But time to move on to bigger and better things. Tonight is going to be our first night trading the futures market together for those who sign up for that. By the way, I already made me a G stack this morning. Oh my God. Wow. Well, look at here. Already made a G stack. And then I put on, and you'll hear me use these terms. I put on some runner positions. So I'm already up 200 on that one. 3,000 for the week on this account. Ooh. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Oh my God. Okay, sorry. Oh, that burnt my mouth. So you can see I'm in profit already. I jumped in a little bit earlier than I normally do, but it's all good. It's all good. So I made 1,000. So this will be another $200 on 150, 200 on top of what I made. I just used the little boys. By the way, please go through the tutorials. If you already joined the Futrix program, go back through the tutorial video. I updated it and I gave you guys something very powerful. Okay, very, very powerful information. See, it's dropping more. See, just like that. Just like that, baby. Just like that. I should have kept my big boys on. Could have been like another about another 1,000 right there if I would have left my big boys running. I put on little boys, and you'll understand this when you join my class when I say big boys and little boys. But look, just in the blink of an eye, you guys, I moved it off the screen so y'all didn't see it. And it was like, what, at 150? Bring it right back on. It's already at 300, over $300. We at 312. So for some of you guys who's crying over the $97 membership, this one trade paid for both sessions for the whole month. One trade using mini boys. Okay. So that's why I say if people keep asking for discounts, no, it's not going to be any discounts because this is me and Jenny spending time with you guys. We really don't have to do this, but we want to help people. Look at this. We're at 370 and the thing is going down. So that means this one trade alone would have paid for, because it's only 97 bucks for the a month, which is about $8 a session for the New York session, and 95 bucks, which is about $7, $7.50 per session for the Asian session. Okay, you hanging out with us 3 days a week, all month long. So look at this. This is 300 bucks right in front of you using the little boys. Okay. And I'll explain that when you join, but using little boys, anybody with a small account, basically, you're going to use the little boys, the M's. Okay. And you'll learn all that. In fact, I added that into the tutorials now. So make sure to go back through the tutorials. The moment you go through that little 12-minute tutorial, which covers everything you need to know, you're going to instantly know when I say little boys and big boys, you're going to know exactly what that means. And anybody with a small account can use the little boys. And look at here, I'm up $320 as we speak using the little boys. So that means for the whole month, for both the New York and the Asian session, you spent $200 for the whole month. And that's like 24 live sessions. Okay. That's like 20, 24 live sessions, something like that between the two. And one trade paid for the whole month. So I don't know. No, I'm not discounting anything. I'm not doing all that. Okay. Because again, this is consuming me and Jenny's time, especially the Asian session, because that's my nighttime when I should be hanging out with Nancy. But I'm doing 3 days a week to help you guys. And I'm doing this like I told Jenny, I sent her a message last night. I said, let's keep it in prayer. A lot of people are finding themselves in difficult situations. Some people may be losing their jobs because the world is changing and this and that. So we really want to use this program to help you. Okay. So in response to that, if we're worth $8 a session or just 95 bucks a month, 97 for daytime, 95 for plus tax at nighttime, that's but pennies for the amount of money people are making in the futures market. Okay. So if you have an issue with that, then just don't join. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not everything that I told Jenny, all that foolishness I was dealing with before. I'm not. No. If you find value, then you're going to pay because you go anywhere you want to go and you typically pay for what you really want. When you find an outfit, some shoes or whatever, you want it. So if this is something that is going to put money into your pocket and you can be with a professional guide while doing it, look at this. It's still dropping. Hold on. Let me bring this on screen. Told you one trade can pay for your whole 2 sets. Look at that. 400 bucks right in front of y'all. This is in front of you. $400. See, I'm just letting this run. I've already made a bigger chunk of money earlier, and now I'm just letting this one run. Okay, I'm just going to let it run for the remainder of the day. Wherever you go, you go. Okay, that's it. See, 400 bucks. One trade. That means that one trade at $400 paid for 2 months of service in a day. Somebody type an amen in the box. Somebody type an amen in the box. Come on, talk to me now. So no, I'm not doing the cheap stuff, bro. No, because I know this is life changing. You can make a lot of money trading and you're going to learn how to be a professional scalper. One of the things I've always preached against when people joined years ago, because I've been around since 2018, I've always preached against scalping. Why? Because it's very difficult to do it in the Forex market. Okay. Very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. That's the reason why if you go and backtrack and look at all the YouTubers who used to be in the Forex market all those years, go back all those years. Think about when you started all those years ago, when all these people were scalping and they showing this and that. How many of those people still exist around today? Not a whole lot of them. Okay. Not a whole lot. Okay, because I was right the entire time. This is why I've always taught y'all to look at higher time frames. And then if you want to be a scalper, that's fine. But I always study the higher time frames first before you go down to them lower time frames. And a lot of them people who was doing all them videos, all them people calling Uncle P a scam, he don't know what he talking about. Price action's king, da 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 da. Where are they now? You don't even see them on YouTube no more. See, they would fly by night because they didn't have stability because I was trying to teach the truth. I wanted people to be winners. Now, I can't make winners, but I can at least teach you the principles of truth so that you can understand the concept. In certain environments, certain things just don't work as well. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm not saying there aren't people who are not making it in the Forex market as scalpers, but the number of those people is extremely low. Why? Because of excessive amounts of volatility. Because of the volatility, it makes it difficult to know where the market is going. So you don't know where heads or tails is. And so a lot of times you get chewed up because you just don't know. And it's not really your fault if you're not being taught. And I'll repeat that again. It is not really your fault if you're not being taught. Okay. And that's where the problem was. A lot of people weren't even teaching that. They will say just showing you 1 minute time frame. Here's 1 minute time frame. Here's a 5 minute time frame strategy, and it works for a minute, and then it doesn't work, and it doesn't work. Why? Because it was having a missing ingredient. Pick a higher time frame first, 1 hour, 4 hour, one of those two. Analyze where the market is heading. And if the pair looks raggedy, then you have no business even trying to deal with it because you're not going to know where it's going. Okay. And I've been saying that for the longest. Okay. Um, Ayo, thank you. Thank you. Ayo said he's been watching, this person said they've been watching me since 2020. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Good looking out, y'all. Good looking out. I appreciate that. So let's go over some charts, you guys. But what I was going to tell you guys, and forgive my randomness this week, today, because again, this is kind of touchy. That man, this is my last class with y'all. But again, you'll be in the live class with me on Wednesdays. So I'll still be teaching Wednesdays, but we'll just be in the futures market instead. That's what we're going to be doing. And it starts, once you sign up, please watch the intro video because it's going to go over the exact times when Ms. Jenny's classes start. It's going to go over the exact times when my New York session or class on Wednesday starts and on what time exactly we're going to launch and start, which is tonight, our futures trading classes. Everything is in that 12-minute intro video. You'll know everything you need to know, okay, in 12 minutes. 462 now. It's still dropping. Like I said, I'm just gonna let them run. I'm just gonna let it run. I should have gotten others too. Just let them run. But hey, it's cool. It's all good. Oh, gravy, baby. All right, cool, cool. All right. So my 3,000 on this account. Oh, I have two of these. So that's 3,000. Just basically say 3,200 bucks. 3,100 times two is $6,200. 6,200. Not bad. Not a bad start to the week. All right, so let's go over some charts. Now, while I'm going over this, here's what I was going to tell you guys. Dr. Maserot says something very important about possessions. While you're making your money, it is very important that you get out of debt. Don't worry about creating more debt. Okay. In fact, before we get to these charts, let me explain what this tariff war is really about. Some of you guys, you're not getting it. I hear a whole lot of talk and all this kind of stuff. Nobody ever asked a black guy with a baseball hat who's not a political person his opinion. Nobody ever did that. Okay. All right. No, Dervin, no. If you're still in there, it stays the same for you. You don't have to, for the New York session. The Asian session is completely separate. But if you're in the signals, then you still are okay. You're okay. You're good to go. All right. Um, but we did take that website away, so only those who are currently in there can get in. All the others who left it, sorry, sorry. But anyway, let me get back to my point. So that you guys, as you're looking at these markets, you guys are not understanding why price action is just if you're trading on your own. Okay. You'll see that right here, price has been sitting in a consolidatory pattern this whole time for quite some time. And we're getting emails, hey man, what's up with these trades? Hey, we can't make the market move. This is exactly what it's doing. This is exactly what it's doing. It's sitting and waiting. It's not moving much, okay? Because a lot of these pairs are going to be affected or are being affected by the tariffs. And until things settle out, we don't know where things are going to go, and neither do they. So that's the reason why you got slow movement in the market, okay? Look at this. Let's go back to this one. See, look here. So what really is going on? We had consolidation there. We had consolidation here. Okay. Consolidation, consolidation, consolidation. And ain't nothing really moving right now. So don't force the trades. If you get into a trade, just wait. For an example, this one that I just closed 35 pips, we had sat in this trade for like 2 days, you know what I mean? Just to get 35, squeeze 35 pips. Wow, I can't force the market to do nothing. It is what it is. You find a setup, you get into it, and that's that. Okay, that's all you can do. That's all you can do, friend. All right? That's all you can do. Here's what I saw on this one. Say, okay, see that? We have a head, and I saw a little shoulder, like little football pads, like a little football player, and I saw another shoulder. And when I saw that, I hopped in up here as close as I can to the other shoulder, and I just waited. But it took 2 days just to go 35 pips. That's completely abnormal. That is not normal at all. Okay, that is not normal. But that's fine. So let me explain for you guys so that you have some education behind exactly what's popping off. Okay, here's what we're dealing with. Okay, here's what we're dealing with. Because of what Dr. Miles Monroe said, for those who joined early, you have fully understood exactly what the tariffs were all about in the first place. And you say, Uncle P, what do you mean? The problem is that when God blesses people here in the United States, especially those in certain, I'll say in certain communities, the first thing we do, and some of you guys just got your tax money, ask yourself, what did you do with it? Did you use that money to help pay down your debts so that you're not struggling as much? Or did you take that money and instantly start splurging, going out to eat, buying new clothes, or something that will consume the blessing? That's the question. Which one did you do? And if you answered, oh, dang, he right, bro. I could have paid down this card and put a little money so I don't have to pay so much, or I could have paid off sooner. I could have used that money to do XYZ, but I used my tax money to do, I went out to the club, I went out to do this, I went to go drink, I went to go smoke, I went to go buy these new clothes, I went to go get this or that. I needed to treat myself. I need to treat myself, whatever excuse you make. If you did not use that money to pay down your debt and you went out to buy something, that makes you a, watch this term, consumer. Consume, like eating, consumer. Follow the logic and you're going to understand these markets. A consumer. Okay. Let's go further with this because I need everybody to understand this. Yeah. Derek said Magic City. It's too funny. Yeah. I need to treat myself. I'm stressed out. I need to treat myself. The moment you say that, you're a consumer. Consume. Okay. Watch this. Follow the logic and follow the money, and you'll understand these markets and what's going on, and you'll understand the tariff war. Notice the terms I am using because I don't want nobody to say, oh, well, you must be supporting XYZ. You must be supporting XYZ. I ain't supporting nobody. I done said that 50 times. So if that's your concept, then keep it moving, player, because I ain't got time for the foolishness. I am trying to help people get out of debt because if anything happens, instead of you talking about, well, they doing this, Uncle P, and they're doing this, Uncle P. If you were debt free, does it really matter what they do? Yes or no? Type, 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 type. Yes or no? Type, 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 type. This is our last class together. Doesn't matter what they do if you don't have any debt. You're debt free. You don't owe anybody. Your cards are paid off. You don't have any bills. Think about it. You go to work, they say, hey, you got to lay off. Okay, I ain't got no house, no, I ain't got no car notes, I ain't got no bills anyway. I really didn't need this job. I was there because I was bored. Do you understand what I'm saying? Different mindset. So what they do no longer has power over you. I will repeat that again. Write that down in your notes, whatever you got to do. What they do no longer bothers you. Let me say it again. What they do no longer bothers you. Why? Because you took control of your life, and every time God blessed you with even the smallest of extra money, $5, whatever, you applied wisdom on how to use it to bring down your debt so that when things shake up in your world, it doesn't really impact you as it used to be because you're a responsible person, not a consumer. This is going to get deep. So listen close. Let's go further with this. Follow me. This is our last class together. You need to hear what I'm telling you. And if you are a politician or got that political mind, you can tune out now, because what I say, I don't care whether it was a Democrat or Republican who understood this. Somebody had to understand what was going on and fix it. Because as I said to you guys, many of you guys didn't even know. Plenty of people was about to lose their jobs because we were going bankrupt. The only thing that kept the United States floating is the printing press. That's why I joked last time about the Gutenberg printing press. Gutenberg is the original inventor of the printing press. That Gutenberg printing press, which was printing out US dollars, that was the only reason we're not a third world country even today. And here's the problem. Any of you who are listening to the sound of my voice, you, the consumer, just got to have the red bottoms, just got to have the Louis Vuitton bag. You don't feel right going out the door unless you got a label on your back with somebody's name on it. By the way, I wish I would have saved the video from this Asian guy who was in the factories in China. He went through every brand, 80% of the brands, the Balenciagas, whatever, all those, the Louis, he went through every brand out there. And he said, we are the ones here in China who actually make the product. But what they do is they'll take the product when it's almost finished without the zippers on it and everything else. We ship the product from China over to wherever they are, Louis Vuitton factory or whoever your favorite name brand is, they'll ship it over there. And he said, if the product is one that people know is basically popular because it came from Spain, for an example, he said, we produce the product here, dirt cheap, in China, ship it over there so that they can put on their fancy zippers and their labels so they think they can say that it came from Spain, not from China. But most of everything that was built and produced, the purses, the shoes, all of that stuff was built in China for pennies. And you are wasting every dollar you can to get them things on your feet, and you're paying 5 times, 50 times the amount. In fact, I saw a video of a guy who went to China to investigate how the iPhones were made and how much an iPhone actually costs to be made. He said, I've been to their factory several times. He said, do you know that it only takes about $10 to build an iPhone? $10. But what is the whole point of what I'm talking about? You're getting educated, you're being told things you probably never hear in your lifetime. Because people don't want to talk about this, and I stay low, I keep my head down, I don't want no problems. But this is our final class. I need you guys to be educated. Yes, furniture also. You got it, Troy. Furniture also. This is my whole point. Why do we have the tariff war? Get out of your political. If you're gonna think politically, I don't want tune out now. Just get off my channel because I don't want to hear no crap. Because this is not about politics. It required somebody who understands money to understand the money. And you personally are playing a part in the problem into why these tariffs exist, why this is going on. You, the consumer, you don't even know you're part of the problem. People who don't spend money, people who pay off their bills and live debt free and live low key, they're not part of this problem. That's why it doesn't affect people who paid off all their bills. It doesn't affect them one way or the other. Tariffs means absolutely nothing to them. But to a consumer who takes everything you get and every chance you get to splurge on something because you just have a desire, you just want it. I need something to comfort me, and then you, whatever excuse you make, you're part of why we have this war right now. Let's go deeper. So, Uncle P, what is you talking about, bro? I don't understand. How am I responsible? Here's what the whole entire war is all about. It is all about you, the consumer. In China and other places that produce these goods and services, and I've been watching several videos from, and again, this is just my little thing, and I'm going to give you what I saw as testimony from them saying it. You can go on YouTube and you hear from Chinese people in their factories. They will produce these things, but they do not, watch this. They will produce these things, but they do not use these things. I will repeat it again. They produce these things, but they do not use these things. Why? Because they're part of the people who stay low key. So they need people who mismanage money. I will repeat that again. They need people who mismanage money for their factories to stay open. Because if they produce a product, but there is no, watch this, consumer consuming, eating everything you get, every dollar that comes in, you doing something just to please, please, please. They feed and feast off of your foolishness. This is going to get deep. Walk with me. They produce products that people really don't need. We just want them. We want the latest phones. We want the latest fashions. You don't need it. Your closet is already overstuffed. Your belly is lapping 5 feet over the belt. Come on now. Ladies, you blink, 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 blink with them 50-foot eyelashes. Too much. It looks like umbrellas over your eyes. Yes, Uncle P is talking about you too. Come on now. Brothers, you wearing leggings called jeans that's too tight underneath your filthy butt cheeks, but you got a fancy belt on, Louis Vuitton belt, looking crazy. See, in their culture, they don't do that. But here they do. So therefore, they produce this foolishness over there and they sell it to you, the consumer. So what is this tariff war about? A person who knows money, I'm not a fan of this person, by the way. So don't call me no trumpeter fan. I'm not. But I told my wife a long time ago, I said, this man understands money. Money. So what he understood is simply this. Y'all producing these goods, but, oh no. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. All right, I got to wait 10 minutes. I got a few minutes before I actually start trading. Okay. What he understands is this. You guys producing these things, but you need my people. You need our people to make your money. And China, you made $1 trillion off us last year. But if we produce something here and send it to you, you already was tariffing us. So you're making a big cry about tariffs when you were already tariffing us. And many other countries are doing the same. See, it was okay for you to dump your stuff over here free. But if we were sending our cars over to your country, it wasn't even allowed. Think about it in China. How many Chevy Camaros do you see? How many Corvettes do you see? How many GM vehicles do you see over there? You don't. They don't. They tariff the heck out of them. You're not allowed, but you'll see all their cars coming over here. We buy them. Why? Consumers. So they were already tariffing us, preventing us from selling our products to them. But we are consumers. We don't care what you, hey, just bring me more, like addicts. Just bring more product, bring more product, bring more product. No, no, don't pay no tariffs. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we'll give you $1 trillion a year plus buy your products. Don't worry about it. Just bring us more. We're consumers. And that was the foolish thing that we were doing. And so a financial person comes in and says, okay, let me get this straight. You produce all these goods, but you need our addicts to sell it. I'll repeat that again. You produce these goods, but you need an addict to sell it to. Because if you don't have an addict, a person addicted to, I heard this term years ago, and this is my last class, I'm going to speak plainly. A person that said a lot of people out there are nothing more than label whores. If it doesn't have a label, they don't even want to wear it. Not realizing that the same knockoff was made in the same exact factory. It's just that one was swapped with a label and the other one don't have the label. They were still made in China or Taiwan or one of these other places. They were all made in the same place. Oh man, them knockoffs. What was the knockoff? You got to pull up the thing and look at the stitching. See the stitching right here? See the stitching right here? See this one don't have, look on the inside, look on. And it was made in the same factory. But as that Chinese guy said, we just make it here and we ship it over to wherever so they can put their labels on it. But meanwhile, we can still resell the ones that don't have the label, and y'all call them knockoffs. They were all made in the same place. Watch this. Watch this. So, what now a financial person said is, I no longer am going to give you access to my addicted people unless you pay us a tariff just like you charging us. And they, nah, man, I ain't paying no tariffs. Okay, then guess what? Keep your little drug over there, bro. Keep your furniture. Because you know everybody have new furniture every year. I gotta have that new furniture. Keep your bags over there. Keep your shoes over there. Keep your cars over there. Or better yet, guess what? You can pay 100 to 250% tariff. If you want access to my addicted people, my addicts, then you're gonna have to pay us fairly. No more free stuff, bro. No more. You're not gonna have access to our addicts for free. Oh man, I ain't doing all that, bro. We've been doing this for over 10 years. It don't matter about no 10 years, bro. I'm cutting off this printing press and we're about to get paid. So if you want to have access to my addicts, then guess what? Pay. Pay the toll fee, bro. Well, I don't know about all that. Go check on YouTube and see how many factories in China are closing down because they needed access to you. The problem is nobody saw the value of the American consumer because most leaders are not in business. They're politicians. A business person, that's why I said, don't make it about Trump or whoever. I don't care whether it was Donald Trump. I don't care if it was President Biden. I've always thought that we would be better off in certain circumstances, because he's a butthole in certain areas. I completely disagree. But when it comes to money, anybody who has ever had to run even a small business understood the problem. It doesn't take you being a politician. It takes you being a person looking at money. And the problem is that as long as you keep dumping your products over here and I don't get nothing out of it, but then as soon as I send my stuff over to y'all, no, man, we don't want your stuff. That's 100% tariff on that. It was already tariffs on our stuff. That's why nobody was buying U.S. goods because they were like, we don't consume over here. Y'all consume over there. So we don't need y'all stuff. We good. We don't need it. We're not like you guys. We know how to save money. We know how to live frugal. Y'all over there have to pretend like you're rich by wearing all these name brand clothes and shoes and this and that to make you feel good about yourself. We don't do that over here. That's not our culture. We're not consumers. We're savers over here. We need access to you guys, the addicts. And thus the tariff war. You will not have access to my addicts until you pay us to get access to them. Type of 25 if this is making sense. Type of 25 if this is making sense to you guys. This is why the market has not been moving. It doesn't know what to do because this has never been done. And if I was president, I would have done the same thing because I know the value of my consumers. See, that's what it's all about. It's all actually about you. You have value to all these companies around the world because they produce a product, but they don't use the product. They need a consumer addict, and that is you. Because you have to have the latest to make you present yourself to others as though you're so important. That mindset makes them need you. If you stop doing that and started saying, the hell with trying to impress people, I'm going to pay my bills off, I'm going to be debt free, and I'm going to live quiet. The moment you do that, They lost business because they are only producing for consumers. God, I hope this is helping some people, Jesus. I really hope this is helping some people. See, I'm not even a problem. I'm not even a problem. I'm not a problem. I'm not a problem. Why? Because I'm not a consumer anymore. Now, back when I lived in my 7,000 square foot house, yeah, I was a big problem. I was a huge problem. I'm, you never heard a guy who had a 25-foot closet, 25 feet. I was like 25 feet. And I actually had a door inside my closet that led to the outside to my backyard. I also had a mini fridge in my closet. I also had about 50 watches because I always had to have a matching watch with every color that I wore. I also had a belt wall because I had to have a matching belt with everything I wore. I also had to have a matching hat, which now that is still my thing, but I stopped because I still got like 50 hats now, but that's always been my thing. I just like wearing hats, I just like hats, But uh so give me a second. I gotta get some money. Give me a second. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. I can teach and get the bread at the same time. Give me a second, y'all. All right, cool. Let me swap over. All right, that one is running good. That's running good. Let me hop in these real quick. Oh, yeah, baby. Hold on, let me show this because some of y'all won't believe. Some of y'all won't believe. There we go. Let me click on this so y'all can see that money, baby. Look at that. 800 on this one, baby. Baby. Remember I said I was at 3,000? See, now I'm at 4. All right, let's go ahead and hop, hop, hop like a bunny hop. Bunny hop. Well, I'll take this off screen. I don't want y'all distracted. Theatric.com. I told y'all, boy, y'all better come get this bread, baby. Come get this bread. Come get this bread. Come get the bread. Come get the bread, baby. And that's on the minis, by the way. You remember I told you the mini boys? Look at this, y'all, just so you clear. I told you, even with the mini boys, see, MNQ, for those who's already trading futures, see, I only use 4 mini boys. So even with a small account, you can make a boatload of money. This is the mini, look, now I'm up 940. This is right in front of you guys. So I don't want to hear, I don't know about the $97 I'm going to pay. Oh, no, Uncle P, that's a little too much. You got to give a discount if I get them bonus. Man, go on about your way then, bro. This is the mini boys. If you had a small account, you use the mini boys. I only use 4 minis. I mean micros. I'm sorry, micros. 4 micros. And look, I'm up 900 and some dollars this morning. And now 1,000. Look at it. It's climbing in front of y'all, right in front of your face. And I'll get out of here, bro. I ain't doing all that. Dude, come on. I ain't doing never no holiday discounts. I ain't doing none of that stuff. If you see value, you join. If you don't, keep it moving, player. I ain't tripping. It is what it is. No more of that. No more of that. Because this is part of the problem. People want everything for free. You have no problem being a consumer, spending all your money on things you don't need, but then you want to get frugal on the things you do need. So if this is going to produce additional income for you, why are you being frugal with this, but then you had no problem buying that Birkin bag or whatever, and that Louis Vuitton, which $800, $2,000 for, but you're afraid to spend $97 or $95 to get access to something that can put money back in your pocket? Do you see how the consumer mindset is twisted? And this is what these countries need. They need your twisted mindset so that they can keep using you too. Because the moment you fix your mindset and say, I don't need all this stuff, and I'm going to start using the same money I used to get to invest in foolishness, I'm going to start putting it towards education. The moment if the US started doing that, all those countries would turn into third world countries overnight. And a lot of them are. They only survive off of tourism and manufacturing, many of them. And all of that is based on what? You, the consumer. because every dollar you get, you spend it back out. Vacations, clothes and shoes, foolishness, foolishness, foolishness. And so the tourist industry, like the Bahamas and all these other places, nothing wrong with going on a trip here and there. I'm not saying I'm against that. But what I'm saying is all of these things are based on you, the consumer, because they know every time you get money, you're going to go out and waste it somewhere. It's just a matter of who's going to get it. But we know one thing that's not going to happen. The bill man is not going to get the money. Yo, just walk with me for a second. Let me say this. John, you say you're up 10,000 already on the futures? He said the print's money. I tried to tell y'all. Yep. Congrats, John. Told y'all. It's just stupid easy. Stupid easy money. 1,200. All right, let's bring this back. I'm showing you guys live. This is why I guess I'm done with the free classes. You're gonna be with me? There we go. See, here we go. There we go. And how much? I'm up 2,000 on this one. And I just entered these trades. So I'm just up another 2,000 on this one. Live in front of y'all. 1,600 now. I'm just gonna let it run. Let it run. All right, let me go ahead and put targets on. I want to get here. And so I'm going to put a buy limit. All right, cool. This one. And I'm going to pull my stops down. I'm talking, but I'm making this money, bro. I ain't thinking. All right, let's go ahead and put the target right here. Buy limit. All right, there. All right, I'm going to pull my stop loss down. Protect some of this cash money that came in. Thank you, Jesus. See, I'm not worried about buying the next fancy shoes and this and that, unless I make extra money. See, when I make extra, and here's something that Dr. Elvis has shared, and some of you guys didn't pay attention to it. Something cool is when the best way to be financially free, and it's not, am I against treating yourself and all that kind of stuff? I'm not against that. But what I look at is, okay, for every dollar, or for, let's just say for every $10 you bring in, let's just do it like that. For every $10 you bring in through the door, 2 of those can be spent on splurging. Okay? 2, pay yourself a tithe. A tithe. Like they do in church, you pay a tithe. Tithe $2 or $3 for pleasure. The other $7 to $8 must be used wisely. 10% could go towards donations as a thank you, God, for blessing me. And the other percentage goes towards paying your bills. This is with extra money. Okay? Anything extra that comes through the door, only 10, well, let's go over this. 10% can go to you for pleasure, 10% for donations, and the other 80% goes towards getting down out of debt so you can be free of life problems. Everybody understand that? The 80-10-10 plan? Let's go over it again. 10% could be going towards donations, 10% can go towards your pleasure, 80% goes toward getting down out of debt. 80-10-10. Everybody's clear on this? Is everybody clear on what I'm saying? Type of 50 if you guys understand this. Yeah, we go over all the settings and all that stuff for the futures once you join. Yes, I don't do it here live because again, I've been doing free stuff for so many years. All right, so this time I want to actually just get paid for our work. All right, so let's go ahead and take this money. I'm gonna close out these trades. Boom, boom, boom. Done there. And let me go here. And we are up a G stack, a rat stack. We up, baby. We up. I'm gonna move this one into take profit right there to this level. And I'm gonna let this run a run. Let me show you what I just did. So on my other account, I already closed out, took that money. And now on this one up $1,000. So I moved my stop right below this level right here. And I locked in my profit for today. So my entry is right here. As you can see where this money is showing, that's my entry. And so this magenta line, let me change it to white so you guys can see it. So see this level right here where it bounced and came back? So that's where I'm at. I'm going to leave it. And so that in case it continues to run, Cool. If not, I'll let you tap me out right here and I still am in profit. Okay. And then I still got the agent session to make money tonight. That's what I love about it, man. You can hit them twice a day. Pow! Double whopper. So let's get back to this. Let's get back to this, which by the way, guys, see, I told you I could have held, I should have and could have, but hey, why be greedy? So look at this. Was Uncle P right? Yep, I was right. Okay, so I got in right here. I closed this out right here at the support level because, hey, I don't know whether you're going to go, but I did add a target and it would have hit our target for 69 pips. But hey, pips is pips. Don't get greedy sometimes. When in doubt, get out. Okay, so we did take 39 pips, but my target was 69, and it did finally hit it. But who cares? We got something out of it. Something out of it. Okay, cool. Praise God. Money is money. Money is money. Money is money. Oh, go to our website, futrix.com, bro. Futrix.com. Hold on one second. Give me one second and I'll show you guys. And I'll pull it on screen. This is our website, futrix.com. Futrix.com. So you can just sign in right there. Okay. Futrix.com. Give me one second, you guys. All right. All right. So right here, if you want to join the New York session, then the New York session, all right. So it's bouncing off that level. So I'm going to go ahead and take my $700 and thank you, Jesus. I'm done. All right. 700. So I'm done for today. All right. Cool. So that's 4,000 on that account and 4,300 on this account. So together that's 8,000, just about like 8,500 since Sunday, 8,500 between the two accounts. Cool. I'm done. Okay. I'm done trading. All right. So here we go. Right now, like I said, if you want to be in the Asian session, click here to sign up. And if you want to be in the New York, click here. You have instant access to the tools and everything so that you can get ready. So go through the tutorials. So you click on login. As soon as you're done signing up, click on the login button right here and log in to whichever. Okay. So if you click on the login and you signed up for, let's say, the New York session, okay. I'm sorry, if you clicked on here on the login, but you signed up for the agent session, it's going to point you right here. You click on this button and it'll send you to the agent session login, okay? Because they're two separate sites, okay? So it'll reroute you. But if you signed up for both, then you'll click on here and you can log into both. But, and make sure to go through all the tutorials, especially the welcome video. The welcome video is only 12 minutes long, but you'll know all that you need to know. For an example, when I just said big boys and little boys, after watching that 12-minute video, you're going to automatically know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. The other confusing thing that will trip people up, and it tripped me up for a long time, which kept me intimidated, in the futures market, they use a different terminology. In the Forex market, we say stop losses and take profit. They use a different terminology. I actually added a slide in there, which you can take a screenshot of, and I explained it so that even a 2-year-old can understand it. So it's not even a problem. It was so simple, and I explained it to Nancy, and she's like, oh, yeah, okay, I get it. Okay. Okay. So all of that's going to help you. Everything that caused me to be hesitant about jumping over into this market, I actually put into the slide for you guys so that you can see how simple it is. Because the problem again was what? No proper educator. Everybody's showing strategies, but they're not explaining, okay, what does this actually mean? Because over here, we call it a take profit. What is a limit order over there? Because when we say limit order over here, that means, hey, get me in at this limit order. But over there, they actually use it as a take profit. What is the difference between a micro and a mini? What the heck are you talking about? Within 12 minutes, you're going to actually know exactly what it's all about. I've covered all of that, kept it very, very simple for a 5-year-old can understand it so that you'll know, oh, man, this all it is? Then why ain't somebody ever say that? Exactly. 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 All right. So this is our website. And here's the deal, guys. When you're here, every time you join the class, you have to come and log in and click on the link to that class in here. Why? Because we're going to frequently change it to make sure that nobody's trying to manipulate and play around and do some things they ain't got no business doing. Okay. So just always get the link out of here. Number two, we're doing this because there will never, ever, ever be, and I'm saying this live in front of you guys, there will never, ever be a Telegram channel or a Discord group for Futrix. Ever. So if anybody contacts you guys from a Discord channel, from a Facebook page, from a Telegram channel, whatever, saying, oh, this is Uncle P and I'm in the Futrix program, immediately you already know it's a scam. Why? Because everything is on our website, futrix.com. Okay. So this is to help avoid some of the other headaches that I was dealing with in Super Easy. Because there's so many channels on Telegram that says they're Super Easy Forex. I'm Uncle P. The scams just so wild, I don't even chase them no more. Okay. I always tell people, hey, if you didn't see my face, then why are you bothering with them? I done said that for the last several years. If you don't see me doing a video about it, like I'm doing now, and like I've been doing for the Futrix program, I will do several videos in advance. So you constantly hear me talk about it and where to get the information so that you know in advance that if anybody contacts you and this is not attached to what you've seen Uncle P talk about, then why are you even spending time entertaining it? I just never understood why people even waste time entertaining it. Then they get scammed and they come back and now you want to tell me about it. Well, you should have asked me before you jumped into it. Why are you telling me now? What do you expect me to do? Well, they promised they was, see, you jump, they did, consumer. Why you just jump because somebody promising you? And this is how these scammers are getting away. They can pretend to be anybody. And people send them thousands. And that was the other thing that bothered me. And I'm gonna get off of that one, but I ain't gonna get on that one. But boy, that bothered me. Because I'm like, wait a minute. So you're telling me you just paid them $3,000. Oh my God, look there. You just paid them $3,000, but then you got a problem with my little 297 simplicity one-time fee. You got a problem with my Ocean Wave system for 297 one-time fee. You got a problem with our futures program for 97 bucks, one, monthly subscription, a little small thing, a little super easy copycat monthly, but you just shipped them $3,000 to a person you didn't know. And now you want to bother me about you got scammed. Man, get out of here, bro. All that foolishness, all that foolishness, all that. I'm done with all that, bro. I'm serious. I'm done with all that. I did with that for years. Futrix, we ain't got none of that. We eliminate any possibility of a scam. You'll know it's us because you'll always be in a live room with me or Jenny, and there's only information on our website, including the links to join. They will frequently, the codes are going to change. So every time you join a class, make sure to go there to the link and get it. Okay. No Telegram channel saying, okay, this is the link here on Telegram. No, it ain't. No more of that either. Okay. All right. Let me wrap this up and then take questions. Okay. And thank you guys for joining me for our final free class. So again, going back to the tariff war, you're at the center of it all. They need access to you. You, the consumer, is what this whole war is about. And nobody has the balls to say it because they need your vote. See, even the politicians, or I almost used the word, but well, this is my last class. Let me tell you the truth. Even your politicians are molesting you. They got you all up in the tizzy. I heard this word. I was listening to an audiobook with Nancy yesterday, and the dude said a tizzy. I was like, I ain't heard that. No, that's wild. They got you all up in the tizzy over politics. I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, and got you pointing fingers, and both of them are molesting you because they need you too. The moment you start thinking with your own brain, guess what? You'd be like, well, I don't know about that. I know I typically lean in this direction, but right now y'all tripping. And if you lean in the wrong direction, bro, I can't rock with you because right now you off course, whether Republican but that ain't how you do. You are loyal to foolishness. You're loyal to overspending, which is supporting these countries, and they're getting away with making us broke. And the politicians are also using you because they need your vote in the end. So they're up there screaming and saying whatever needs to be said, whatever needs to be said. It doesn't matter. If there's a Democrat in office, the Republicans are going to start tearing. No. If there's a Republican in office, then the Democrats going to have their turn. And it doesn't matter what one of the presidents doing, even if they are actually doing something good, you're not going to hear about it because the other side has to say something bad. That's why I've been saying for the longest, we're not the United States of America. We are the divided states of America. We do not get along. We find reasons to argue with each other and not get along. Why? Because it's all centered around you, the consumer. Everything is. Everybody's taking advantage of your foolishness. You are a free paying prostitute. Everybody gets to have a good time at your expense on you. Chew it. Don't spit it out. Chew it. Chew what I just said, because that's the truth. You don't want to do your own homework because you're lazy. So therefore, whatever your political side you hop on, whatever they say, you just gonna believe what they say. You don't do your own due diligence to confirm, to say, let me check additional information that may be against what I heard. But that's how you get to the center of truth. You hear one side, but you must hear the other to say, okay, let me balance this out and see which one is actually telling the truth, or is there a nugget of truth in the middle? But because you too lazy and you just gonna believe whatever your molester says, who's wearing a suit called politics in your party, it's still gang warfare. It's just in the office. Crips and Bloods. I still remember them days where I couldn't go to school wearing certain colors, or else I knew there was a possibility of me not coming home when the Crips and Bloods were real powerful. You better not wear certain colors to school. I still remember those days. And what are the Democrats and Republicans? It's red and blue. And they got you in their gang talking crazy to your family and friends. Nobody can even hold a conversation to you because you believe everything that your pimp says to believe. Because if they say it, it got to be true. See, even they're prostituting you. These countries are prostituting you. Everybody's using you because you are a consumer. You consume what the politicians say, and you consume what these people are selling. And meanwhile, the deepest issue is, why are you even like that? Because you have never stopped to check out your own personal value. Oh my God. Oh, we would have blown through my target. Jeez. Oh, look at there. But hey, at least we make some money. See, people like me can't be molested because I don't care how many products you make out there. If I don't need it, I'm not going to buy it. I don't care what you're saying on that political stage, whether Republican or Democrat. If you're talking foolishness, it's foolishness. I don't care who it is. See, I can think independently. You're not going to use me. I know when you're lying. Why? Because I have access to the same information you do. When you trade in the market, you instantly have access to information that the general population do not. If you are a person who checks news before you take trades. Because when you read these news reports, bro, what are you lying to these people about? Bro, look at the numbers. Look at the numbers, bro. Bro, the report just came out. Why are you up on stage talking about how good things is? Look at the numbers. The consumer price index just came out. NFP just came out. What the heck are you talking about, bro? And they just be lying. See, I don't have to be a part of that. Why? Because I look for myself. And if you're right, I'm on the side of your right, whether Republican or Democrat. I don't care. If you're right, you're right. But when you're wrong, you're wrong. For an example, I completely understand the political war for the situation with these tariffs. I understand because we were literally about to be a consumer broke people. We're about to be a third world country. Literally, the only thing that was keeping us available is the printing press. If we did not have the power of the US printing press, we would have already been a third world country. So I completely understand the tariff, why you had to make the moves on the tariffs. However, I completely disagree with your foolishness. How are you going to be cutting jobs and cutting them off instantly? No warning. People been in these jobs for 10 years. And you come in the office and you just cut them loose because you're trying to reduce money? At least you should have gave them a little time to get adjusted and get ready. so that they can have time to find another job. You just gonna come in and do a judo chop chop. Nigga, Rachi, I got a problem with that. See, I'm not a politician. I look for the truth. I understand why you're doing it, but the way you went about it, bro, that was completely out of order. Top of 200 if you agree with me. Come on, talk to me. Come on, talk to me. This is my final class. I'm going to run my mouth. You need to hear somebody telling you the truth. All of this is all about you, the consumer. The moment you stop being a consumer, it's the moment you stop being part of the problem. Oh, let me give you this first, and then we'll be wrapping up shortly. Oh, let me give you this first. There's a Bible verse that sums all this up, and it's been there for the longest. The Bible says the servant, let me say this right. Let me give it to you in this term. The consumer is slave to the lender. Let me put it in modern terms. The consumer is slave to the lender. Because you're in debt over things you didn't even need, now you're stressed out over how you're going to pay for it. And they control your life. They slap late fees on. They have stolen your sleep. They have taken your peace because you voluntarily hold yourself out for things you never needed in the first place. Now, the original Bible verse says the borrower is servant to the lender. Okay? Borrower is same as consumer. You're out there using your credit cards, using your savings to buy things so that you can go out this weekend and look good, to impress people who really don't give a crap about you. Because the moment you are done overspending just to go out for the weekend, they turn around and, girl, did you see what she had on? And you wasted all your money so your girlfriends can say, girl, that is so cute. And then they talk behind your back, girl, she looks so stupid with that on. Oh, did you see the hair? Why did she put that color in there? And they just back. And you spent all your consumption money on that when you could have been using that to get out of debt so that the servant is not the borrower. You are no longer slave to the lender. You know why when I bought my cars, I paid them off instantly? You want to know why I did that? You want to know why I did that? I'll never forget. Hear me good. This is honest talk from your uncle. Broke my heart. I still touch it to this day. I remember when the Chrysler 300 first came out back in the day. Chrysler 300 was the used thing, you know what I mean? I remember as I'm explaining this story, I still see and experience the feeling as I'm telling you this, even though it's been years. It's been years. It was so painful. I remember when the Chrysler 300 came out and I was popping. I had my money. I was young. You know what I mean? I told you I was retired the first time when I was in my 20s over real estate. Man, I had money. I was thinking money going to keep coming in. I ain't worried about money. I ain't worried about money. I ain't worried about money. Chrysler 300 came out. I went down to the Chrysler dealership, and as I'm explaining the story to you, I'm seeing it, the very dealership where I went to. I'm seeing it in my mind as if it just happened yesterday. It's painful. I went to the dealership and they showed me all these cars that were sitting on the lot. They had this burgundy-ish color one on the showroom floor. See, when I bought cars, a lot of times I had to get it off the what? Showroom floor. When I had bought my Mercedes Benz, I had got one off the showroom floor. See, I couldn't just buy a car. I had to have the bragging rights of knowing that I bought it where? Off the showroom floor. And so I went in and I bought that shiny Chrysler 300 off the showroom floor. And I drove out of state to go visit my mother so I can show her that her baby boy, the one who gave her the most problems out of all my siblings, look at how good her baby boy is doing with his shiny new vehicle that came off the showroom floor. Type of 15 in the box if y'all understand exactly what I'm saying so far. I'm gonna take a breather because I don't want no tears flowing. I was buying new cars every year, almost every year, other year, whatever. I had 3 houses within a 10-minute spec from each other. My 7,000 square foot house, my 3,500 square foot house, and my 2,000 square foot house. All three of them were within 10 minutes apart from each other. Who in the heck does that? I had a belt wall with like 50 belts on that wall. Had my hats, had my shoes, had everything. I was popping. Speaking engagements. Everybody wants you to be a special guest speaker when you got money. I was a speaker, talked on stages, was on the radio. I was a special guest here, special speaker there. Everybody was seeking me out. I was the man. All of my kids had their own bathroom and their own bedroom. And then we still had the guest suite as well. Pool table room, theater room, balcony, two-story. I had a two-story bedroom with a balcony that overlooked the lake. My bedroom was over 2,000 square feet itself, let alone the rest of the house. And then I had my nice cars, my motorcycle. I had a Hayabusa. Excuse the term. I had a Busa for those who drive motorcycles. You know about Busas. Oh, I was living good until I didn't. And when my Job experience happened, I'll never forget. That same beautiful Ford Chrysler 300 that I bought where? Off the showroom floor. And all hell broke loose out for me financially. Give me a minute. When all hell broke out for me financially, one of the most embarrassing moments that I still have to carry to this day because I was stupid. I had plenty of money. My net worth was worth millions of dollars, but I kept it in assets called real estate. When the real estate bubble was happening, I didn't know what was going on. I'd never seen it before. I knew how to, I'm educated. I went to school. In fact, I held 2 licenses in 2 states as a real estate agent. I never bought, let me rephrase that. I never, ever held 2 real estate licenses in 2 different states. Never once did I ever sell a person a property. I didn't get it for the consumer. I got it to educate myself so that if I called into a certain state saying, hey, I need to get this property, but I need to get it through a real estate agent, I was educated as a real estate agent myself in those states so that if they tried to come with some foolishness, I would catch them in a lie because I was already a licensed realtor. I just wasn't interested in being a realtor for people. I just needed the education so I wouldn't get conned if I entered into a real estate deal in the distance. In other words, I lived in this state, but I seen the property in that state, and I need a real estate agent to go check it out and work on my behalf. I didn't want them trying to get over on me, so I got educated in that state and became a realtor in that state so I can understand the real estate laws and the concepts, but I never got those licenses as a realtor to sell property. I was educated on how to get real estate. I was not a stupid person, but I was. Because when God blessed me with an excessive amount, I should have been paying off debts all along the way. Every new property, every new this and that came along, use that to pay off debt and be debt free. I didn't. I was like, oh, money gonna be coming in. I'll just, long story short, with that car. Bank was coming to repossess it. This is at the time when I was living in that 7,000 square foot house. And I told you guys I had the biggest house in the neighborhood. Only a football player, if I say his name, you all will know exactly who he is. You will know exactly who he is. If I say his name, you'll know exactly who he is. In fact, he's still being talked about on television right now because of his situation. Only he had a bigger house than me. I was proud of myself because a little black kid, when I turned 19, I was on welfare and I flipped myself into a multimillionaire. And now here comes a problem that I wasn't prepared for. The Bible says pride goeth before a fall. And with everybody hit me on the back, oh man, you the man, you the man. Let's stay. You speak, come on, this, that, and the other. My pride got a little bit out of hand. I can see that now. I became an ultimate consumer because I thought the money would just come in unlimited until it didn't. I'm delaying the story for a reason because it's touchy. But let me get through it. I knew they was coming to get the car. And me being the icon in the neighborhood, I didn't want them coming to my house to pick it up in front of my neighbors and my kids. So I drove it down the street, about 4 miles down the street. I found a McDonald's and I left it in the parking lot. But this would be my final class. I shouldn't expect this. God has some funny ways of doing things. But you need to know why you need not be a consumer. I still remember I parked my Chrysler 300. I still see the spot right now in my head. And I parked my 300. The car I took pictures in front of, had a photo shoot in front of it. Yeah, I had parked it in McDonald's parking lot. Put the key under the mat and told them where to pick it up. And that's the last time I saw that car. because I was stupid and prideful. This is why I don't tolerate the foolishness of people trying to call me a scammer or this and that. Even then, when I was losing everything, I never scammed anybody, and I ain't gonna start now. And not even for you guys. I don't want God's favor to not be on my life. You're gonna go through things in life, but as long as God's favor is upon you, He'll find a way to bless you. But if you pissing Him off, you can beg for prayer all you want. There's no answer. Because the one you need the answer from is the very one you pissed off and took for granted. So yeah, I left that car in a McDonald's parking lot, keys under the mat. And I drove back through there later and saw that the car was gone. Yeah, that was so embarrassing. The market was in turmoil. People stopped paying rent. I was balling so hard. I remember I had bought a brand new 5 bedroom home next door to I think he was a college coach or NBA coach, but I didn't even live in it. I bought it so that my friends who moved up to that state, who followed me up there, they had a little patch they couldn't buy their house. So I bought a house for them and I said, hey, just pay me for the monthly, and it's all good and you can just stay in my home. They end up moving out without telling me. Which, by the way, you remember I told you I had a house on the golf course, 1 block away from the golf course, which was literally across the street from this famous football player who y'all see talked about on TV right now as we speak. 1 block away. How I ended up with that house is because they said they had financial trouble. I was balling out of control. I'm like, okay, don't worry about it. I'll take over the note. Took over the note. I said, y'all just pay me, but you can still stay in the house, and I'll take over the note so you don't have to move. They did the same thing. Packed up and left and didn't even tell me. So now I got a house next to a basketball coach that I didn't live in. That was for my friends. Had a house on the golf course 1 block away from this famous football player, and they moved out and didn't tell me. Then I was having other real estate troubles, like I was getting hit from everywhere. And all of a sudden, those millions of dollars turned into nothing. And I was left with scraps. And I didn't know what to do because I was what? A consumer. I knew how to make money to spend it, but I wasn't smart enough to know how to navigate when troubles happen. Because I assumed it was always going to be exactly the same way. There's a famous book I want you guys to read called Who Moved My Cheese? One of my ultimate favorite books to read. Who Moved My Cheese? It's written in in a kindergarten form, but it holds so much value. Who Moved My Cheese? You're going to read it. It's literally written like a kindergartner's book, but it's meant for adults because it has a message in there. And it's more of a, like Jesus used, which is called parables. Parables or stories to give you wisdom, because if I just told you straight up, you won't absorb it and you'll debate and argue with it. But if I put the truth hidden inside of a kid story, anybody can understand it and it's digestible. Who Moved My Cheese is one of my favorite books ever because it explains exactly what happened to me. And it explains exactly what's happened to many of you guys. It is dangerous to be a consumer because everybody gets to take advantage of you, all because of your pride. You got to have things so you can show off, to show and pretend that you have success, even though you struggle to pay for them. because you need other people's approval of you. You need them to tell you how cute you are. You need them to tell you that you the man. You need to have on things so that when you walk down the street, everybody is eye gawking at you like you the man or the whoa man. See, that's your pride. Because your ego says, I need people's approval of me, no matter the cost to me. And so China, Taiwan, Mexico, and all these countries that you're hearing screaming about these tariffs, they're basically saying we should have a right to molest your people for free. Why? Because we've been doing it. It doesn't matter that we put tariffs on your stuff when it comes over here. Y'all been letting us rip your people off and molest them for years with no problems. Who are you to come in here and tell us we can't do this no more? Your people want what we got. They're addicts. And you trying to tell me now we have to pay a shipping fee to get access to your addicts? See, it's all about you. What if we stop being consumers? There's no need for a tariff war because their goods and services, majority of them we wouldn't need anyway. So either way it goes, they will still be out. That's like a person who was addicted to drugs, but now you're off drugs. So when you walk down the street and a drug addict is trying to pimp you, guess what? They can't. Why? Because what you got, I don't need anymore. I'm no longer into that. And if everybody got out of the addict business to a drug dealer, the drug dealer has no choice but to close up shop. Why? They don't have any more consumers. So you see how a consumer creates the problems. And meanwhile, we're all talking about, yeah, the US is in $36 trillion of debt. Yes, we all talked about it, but who did anything about it? Because we got into debt by being consumers. Any debt that's created was created by a consumer. So if we're $36 trillion in debt, that means somebody is being a consumer. And the United States government was a consumer. The people in the United States was a consumer. Everybody is a consumer. And nobody was going to do anything about it. And so all these countries are getting trillions of dollars worth of money off of us. Until now, we have this tariff war saying no more of that. We ain't for free no more. You want to get inside these pants, you're going to have to pay. We are the stupid people for years who have been the prostitutes. And not only did we let you just do what you want with us, but then we paid you for it. That's the consumer mindset. Come on in here and use me up. And I'm going to pay you for it. Now, this whole tariff thing is about, no, if you're going to come up in this shop trying to get into these pants, you're going to have to pay first. And thus you have this tariff war. It's all about the consumer, access to you. It's a war for you. Temu and all the rest, no longer. You're going to have to pay to get access to my people. That's what this is all about. But for the few who heard my story, I can go buy another car today if I wanted to. I don't. I still got the same one. I had thought about getting a Lambo one time, and I still may eventually down the line. Like I said, I don't have a problem with things. Just make sure you're out of debt first, so that when you get those things, they don't get you later. See, my car's in my garage, my motorcycle I have now, guess what? Can't nobody repossess it. Why? Because I own it. I paid it off. I remember when the Stingray, when I got mine in 2020, that's when they first came out and they was very hard to get, very hard to get. So I'm gonna tell you up front, I overpaid. Yeah, I did. Okay, I did. I admit I did back then because you can get them cheaper now because everybody, it's like the poor man's Lambo. That's what I call it now, the poor man's Lambo. But when I first got it, they were so rare to have. It was hard to get one, hard. And I actually didn't even think I was going to get one. Me and Nancy were on a date, and I'll tell you that's a story and I'll wrap up. I'm sorry for holding y'all so long. Me and Nancy were on a date. Now, this is after I had got back on my feet financially, and I was being very smart with my money. And I saw this girl, and Nancy, who's very frugal, she told me, Swaggy C's wife is like that too. He just put out a video about his wife rebuking him for spending money. He said, I gave her $80,000 and came back about a month later and he said, do you need more money? And she said, no. She said, I still got money left from the last time you gave me money. He said, he told me, and I just saw this the other day, and that's because I like the guy. I like him. Um, he said that his wife had came back and said, yeah, she said, well, how much of that 80,000 you still got left? She said, oh, about 75,000. He said, so you mean I gave you $80,000, you only spent $5,000 of it? He said, from here on out, watch what he said, from here on out, you're going to be responsible over the finances for the family. See, he was a consumer. He said that we went on a private plane to a flight and his wife told him, honey, we could have went first class for $200. See, look at the mindset difference. So he said, Bailey, his wife, he told his wife, baby, from here on out, you're responsible for the finances. See, he understands exactly what I'm teaching you. She's a wise woman because she knows that this may not always last. Anything can happen. If you lose your sight, then instantly you lost your income as a trader. Do you know that? You need both of these eyeballs to be working for you to understand what you're seeing on these charts. If anything ever happens to your eyes, instantly your income is completely gone. Did you hear me? Type a 50 in the box if you heard exactly what I just said. And that lifestyle you currently trying to chase, instantly gone. So while things are fruitful, see, life can happen in a way that you never saw coming. And that's what happened to me. I never saw it coming because it never, ever, ever. 2008, 2009, real estate market crash. Who ever heard of that? Nobody. And nobody since because the market hasn't done that. It was just like when I hit the peak of my life, a once in a lifetime storm came and knocked everything away that I had. I never saw it coming. I never thought it was going to happen. I could never have fathomed it, but it did. But it did. And when I told you guys that it was such a terrible time in my life, because that was not the only thing that happened. It was like I had a whirlwind experience of bad stuff happening to me all at the same time. That's why I call it my Job experience. There were many other bad things beside that that happened. And then the ultimate one was the finish line punch is when the sheriffs came to the door and told me that me and my children, or my child, because my other children were old enough, they were on their own by then, but I still had my youngest daughter, and she was still in high school, finishing up her last year in high school. And we're still in that 7,000 square foot house, and the sheriffs came to my door. After 1 week before then, I had a most devastating experience ever that crushed me. And then a week after that, the sheriffs come to the door and say, you have to move. Out of my 7,000 crown jewel, ultimate show off piece of my success, now I have to move in a week because I couldn't afford to stay. Like Dr. Elvis said, he said, Uncle P, people know you'll see your glory, but they don't know your story. He said that all the time. I don't have to do anything to con a person. Because every time I was in these situations, it was the mighty God I serve who got me out of it. Even in that situation, God told me, I know what they said, but I told you, you don't have to move. I'll take care of it. I said, but God, he said, what did I say? He said, call the bank. I said, God, I already spoken to the bank several times and they told me no. He said, what did I say to do? And I called the bank. Never forget that young white man's voice. He said, sir, let me see what I can do. By the time he got done, that mortgage, he cut it down so low until it was equivalent to somebody's rent. It was lower than your current rent. And I was paying like $1,700 a month for a 7,000 square foot house because God said, son, I think you're learning your lesson about humility. Now let me show you my power. And I did not lose the house, just as God said. Somebody type an amen right there. Come on, talk to me. We're almost done. We're almost done. So from that experience, I learned, let me go back to the vet. When it first came out, you had to order it, and there was a 6-month waiting period for it. Okay. So what happened was I was sitting on a nice nest egg of money, huge amount of money in my account, but there was nowhere to really spend it because, like I said, Nancy, she's real frugal. Doesn't matter how much money we have, she still, if she wants to go shopping, she'll prefer to go to Ross or something like that, or whatever, She's not into name brands. So every once in a while she gets something name brand, but not often. You know what I mean? Uh, and in my eyes, she's beautiful no matter what she does. So she doesn't need that stuff. And we don't hang around people who require us to blend in with certain attire anyway. Those kind of people we don't hang around anyway. Label whores, we don't need it. Nothing against you if you need it, but we don't need it. I don't need somebody's name on my back to make me important. In fact, like I told my wife, I said, babe, some of these people, my people, I can say this, some of my people, they out there spending $2,000 for a purse. And when they get done, because of how they personally look, I can't tell whether it's a $10 purse or a $2,000 purse because you, the person, don't carry yourself in a certain manner. So it didn't matter whether you had bought it for $10 or $2,000. It still looked cheap on you. So you did all that for absolutely nothing. You still look crazy, bro. You got on these Louis shoes, but the rest of you look so raggedy until I can't tell that you paid $1,000 for the shoes because you still look cheap because of you. You look nasty, bro. I'm talking to mine. Yeah, that's what we do. So let me get finished with this story and I'll let y'all go. Now, I'm glad we had this final conversation on consumerism. This is what the trade war is all about. I'm sitting on a boatload of cash in my account, nothing to spend it on because again, we're not really big into shopping. Even though I got 2 closets here, but this every day, this is our attire just because we go walking and we go, we don't, So I have clothes and outfits. I have shoes. I got all this. We don't really do nothing. We don't, that ain't that big of a deal. So we go on a date, a lunch date. Peggy says, "Hey, I want to take you out. Let's go to lunch." And this particular day, she was driving, and so I said, "Cool, all right, let's go to lunch." And we drove past the dealership. I said, "Babe, I've been looking at the picture of this car. I really want it because I always want to get myself a Lambo. Why? Because I'm sitting on cash. So even if I spent the money, it's not going to put me in debt because I'm sitting on cash now." Right? I have all my bills paid, sitting on cash, so it's not a big deal. That's why I say I don't have a problem with you doing stuff. Just don't do it when you need money to pay off your debts. Pay your debts off first, and then when you have surplus, go do what you want. Okay? That's called living wealthy. Doesn't mean you have to be a billionaire. It just means you're debt free and you're sitting on a boatload of excessive amounts of money. And now, okay, whatever you spend, okay, it's not going to hurt anything because you don't have debt. Okay, so watch this. We go and she drives past this dealership. And as she drives past this dealership on the way to our lunch, I said, "Babe, would you mind if I can just stop in? I just want to talk to him because I'm constantly seeing it online and seeing pictures of it. I just want to see if they actually have one on the showroom, so I can just see what it looks like." She said, "Sure." So we pulled into the dealership and they had one. And I'm like, "Oh my God, this thing is so clean." Oh, I said, "Man," because when I was researching, if you look at the Lamborghini Spider and the Ferrari Spider, and you look at the Vet, they're basically the same exact car, except for one has a label whore, you know, Lambo and Ferrari. They just put those tags on it, make a couple of different little curves, but basically they all look exactly the same. Exactly the same. Except for one of them, you got to pay almost $100,000 to $200,000 more. Why? Because of the name of it. So look up the Lamborghini Spider and the Ferrari Spider, and you see why I went with what I went with. So I saved myself money. Why? Because I've learned from the last time. So when I went in there, the dealer was there. They said, "Hey," I was like, "Man, can I take a look at this car?" And they said, "No, you can't touch that car. That car belongs to somebody. Somebody who already bought it. You can walk around it, but you can't touch it." It's like, dang, bro, because I really just want to see. I just want to see what it looks like. I've never seen one. It's always online. It's hard to get. And so that's what happened. And while we were there observing this other person's car and gawking over it, then another one came in. They said, "Well, this one is available. This one may be available." And I was like, "Oh, cool, cool, cool." And then they said, "Wait a minute. Wait, wait, wait. We just got word that a black on black one is on the truck on its way here now, and nobody claimed it." I said, "You got to be kidding me. That's the one I wanted. Black on black on black on black on black." They said, "Yeah, it's on its way." I said, "I ain't going nowhere." The other salespeople on the floor heard that the car was on its way. And they started scrambling. They hit their phone list because it was a long waiting list to get the car. And it was all, I said, "Oh, heck no, I'm buying this right now." I said, "How much is?" And they told me it was over six figures. They said, "You sure?" I said, "Yep, let's get it right now." I went into the showroom floor. Watch my story. I'm finishing with this. Went into the showroom floor, into the sales office, and they started drafting up the paperwork. And because most people are what? Consumers. He and I started negotiating on numbers. And then when we came to our final numbers, he started having a discussion on how to get lenders. Why? Because most people are consumers buying things they cannot afford. Now, this is not for a person who actually needs a car and you need to get a loan so you can get around and get to your job. No problem with that. That's a necessary debt, not a problem. But if you one who constantly trying to flip your car in to get the newest model when you can't even afford the one you got, that's a problem. Okay, let me wrap this. I said, "No, bro, I don't need no loan." He kind of looked at me like, "Wait a minute, what you say?" "I don't need a loan. I'm just going to pay for it outright." He said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, I'm just going to pay for it outright and put it on my business card, by the way, so I can use it as a tax write-off because I'm going to use it as a company vehicle." What? Yeah, I'll write it off. See, now I'm wise. It's going to be my company vehicle. Called up my bank, told them, "Hey, there's going to be a large transaction. So don't block it because if it's too large of a transaction, for your protection, they'll block the transaction." Called them and told them in advance, "I'm at this dealership and I'm going to buy this car. So make sure this amount is released." How much they say, "Well, how much exactly do you want us to unblock just to make sure it's not going to trigger?" And I told them how much. And I said, "Hey, I said, I want all warranties as well. How much would all the warranties? Because I'm going to have this for a while. And so how much would all the warranties?" And they told me. And so I called the bank and I said, "Hey, just release this amount, and I told them a little bit extra just in case." And that night, I drove off with my car. Then I took it down to LA and I had them put on the Lambo doors because that was the only difference between the Lamborghini Spider and the Ferrari Spider was the flip out doors. So I took it down to LA and I gave them 4,000. And that afternoon, drove out from LA in my car with Lamborghini doors. And I got the same stares like people when they first came out. Now nobody looks, well, people still look at it for whatever reason, but I'm kind of surprised when people keep looking at it and they stop me and talk to me about my car because, it's a lot of them out there, but I guess mine's is a little bit different. But, because of the black on black on black. But, either way it goes, the point is that back then, nobody could get access to one. And so me coming out with one and with the Lambo doors, oh, I was the showroom, I was the man. But I didn't take it, it was I was more humble now because guess what? I know God, I know I paid cash for this, but Lord, they're approaching me. I'm not approaching them. And I tried to use wisdom. I could have got the Ferrari Spider or Lambo Spider, but I want to show you I'm going to use wisdom. So I saved $100,000 on the car, and I got the knockoff version of it. Okay, I got the knockoff version, the poor man's Lambo. That's what I called it, the poor man's Lambo. But I got the Lambo doors and all that, and I still got the car to this day. But what's the difference between the Chrysler 300 and this car? The Chrysler 300, I had to get it off the showroom floor, and I got a loan. And when I had all that money, I should never have gotten a loan. I should have just paid it off in cash. But I listen to stupid people who say, you don't want to pay things off in cash. You don't want to pay things off in cash. Stupid people. I still hear economists saying that now. You don't want to pay it off in cash because you won't use it. Yeah, but see, they never consider what if your income stops? Then this asset turns into a liability. And that's what happened to me. So I don't give a rat's behind about what these stupid people talk about. Oh man, you don't want to pay things off. Stupid. Pay it off. The servant, the debtor is slave to the lender. As long as you owe things, people have control over you. And if your lifestyle changed for whatever unforeseen reason, they can come in and take what you got unless you paid it off. Stupid people giving stupid advice. Stupid people. They know nothing about money, and they're telling you what to do. And you're listening. Yeah, so you can get the tax write-off, man. Every month you make your tax. What if you lose everything? You ain't write nothing off. And now they come and get you. In addition to that, you just paid all that several years. The first couple of years you paying on it, that's all interest money. It's free money going to the bank for that asset. So by the time you actually pay it off, you paid 2 or 3 times what it was worth. So yes, when I bought my car, I overpaid for it. But because I bought it through my business, number one, nobody can ever take it from me. And instantly I got a first year write-off on it. But then every year that it lost value, I got depreciation off of it. So I got all the tax benefits without ever being servant to the lender. Come on, somebody type amen in the box and I'll let y'all go. See, I'm not stupid anymore. I'm not stupid anymore. And I'm so sick of these talking heads talking stupid, politicians talking stupid. And these politicians are stupid. They're stupid. You know why? Because they never had to hustle for their money. They just come and pimp you for your vote, and automatically their checks come in. Hell or high water. When there's a recession, guess whose check still stays stable? Theirs. You struggling. And they're talking about we got to go out there and fight for the people. Fight, 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 fight. They constantly say that. Why? Because they keep you voting for them. Because as long as they use that term, I'm fighting for you, you really believe they're fighting for you. And in truth, they just need your vote so that they can keep getting their free check. Doesn't even happen. It doesn't matter about the economy. The world can go to the crapper and the politicians still get their checks. Why? Because you voted for them. They need you. They're pimping you too. So they'll tell you whatever you want to hear. And I'm done with all that. I'm nobody's prostitute. If you ask for wisdom, God will give it to you. But be careful when you ask for wisdom. And I'll close with this. Be careful when you ask for wisdom. Because when you ask for wisdom, you might find that God is going to require you to get rid of certain things that you are used to. He's going to require a lifestyle change. And if you're not ready and willing to cough up your prideful ways, then don't ask for a blessing. because you might not like the answer you get. See, it was never about whether I bought a car or not. It wasn't about the car. It was about the mentality. When I had all that money, I should have paid off the main property and the main car so that if everything else got lost, the sheriffs never would have came to my door. Why? Because I never would have owed the bank. So I should have been taking out loans on those other properties because I kept all my finances in assets. So on paper, I was worth millions of dollars, but I just never touched it because I always knew real estate goes up. And it did after that 2008, 2009 crash. But it was so bad, a lot of people got wiped out who couldn't survive because they was over leveraged. But when I was at the height of my money, millions of dollars, all I had to do was go to the bank and say, hey, I need to take out some money, against my assets. And I was good for it. And I could have paid off the house that I had built, the 7,000-foot crown jewel. I could have paid that off and paid off my 300 Chrysler 300. And therefore, when the world went to the crapper, okay, it's cool. I ain't tripping. Well, that investment property, you're going to lose it. Okay, that's cool. That's fine. See, that would have been my attitude. Okay, that's cool. That's all right. I'll find some more after the storm is over. Why? Because my house and my vehicle would have been paid off in cash when I had it. That was the lesson. Why didn't you get out of debt first? You were buying belts and shoes and watches and show off things when you should have been investing every extra dollar you had to get out of debt in case another storm hits. And that's not what I did. I was investing in showing off versus investing in getting free. I'll repeat that. I was investing in showing off versus investing in getting free. One more time. Let me say this for you. You're investing in showing off versus investing in getting debt free. And this is why you're worried about what they are doing, because whatever they do, it can impact you unless you're debt free. So now when they do things, I'm not concerned about what they do because they do not control my life. My God does. And with his resources, I'm using them a lot more reasonable now. Do you know it doesn't matter how much money I make in the trading world? Do you know I can go to a regular job and be okay? You know why? And I'll say this in closing, we're done. Altogether, just for our personal living expenses, I can live off of $4,000 a month. $4,000 or $5,000 a month. Oh, that's all. I don't need much. That includes the house. That includes all the other things that I do. And, there are other things I do that doesn't even have anything to do with me. But, I just support whatever, about $4,000, $5,000. That's about it. And Nancy's a school teacher. So that's that's 2/3 of it right there off of her salary. And then I can just go work it anywhere. And we'll live perfectly fine. I don't need people at all. So when people say, oh, he out there trying to scam, for what? I don't need to scam nobody because my expenses are so low until I've learned my lesson. God, I ain't got to go to that class again. So I always keep our expenses low, just basic needs, basic needs. And soon I'm going to pay this house off and then we really don't need nothing. So I've been putting large chunks of money down on this house to pay it off. And once this is paid off, I'm really don't, we can work at McDonald's and make money and pay our utilities and stuff and the car insurance and whatever, phone bills. So that's it. I don't have debt. I don't have it. And I don't want it because I'll see that I don't need to impress people. So if anybody's out there trying to defame me saying, oh, he's a scammer, scammers need other people's money. I don't want to ever be in a position to need people because then you're at the mercy of what they say about you versus just do what God wants you to do. I don't want to be like that, bro. So hopefully this long speech gave you guys some nuggets of wisdom. This was our last free session together. Again, if you want to trade along with me in the futures market starting next Wednesday. Next Wednesday is when I take over on Wednesday. So Jenny's going to be doing Tuesdays and Thursdays, New York session time. And I'm doing Wednesdays, New York session time. My class is starting at 9:30 a.m. precisely. Okay. Now, tonight will be our first Asian session together, and that starts promptly at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. So you got plenty enough time to sign in, go through the tutorials, get yourself set up on the new indicator. So, because you'll have the same indicator as we have, okay, you'll get the same exact trading indicator. You'll see exactly how to install it, how to get it registered, and all that kind of stuff. You have all that. Okay. So you have plenty enough time if you want to be part of the Asian session to jump in now, and you'll have this same tool, and we'll be trading together this evening. Okay. So if you want to do the Asian session, it's right here. It's only 95 bucks a month. It's dirt cheap. It's like let's do a math. Okay, we're doing 3 classes a week times 4 weeks. So that's 12. Okay. So we're doing 12 classes. All right. So 95 bucks divided by 12 equals how much? $7.91 a class. That's it. $7.91 for the Asian session. And it's about the same, about $8 for the New York session. $8 a class. I don't know where else you're gonna find that cheap, but that's fine. If you do have a problem with it, like I said, keep on being your consumer self and stay broke. I ain't tripping. I'm not gonna make a big deal of it. But for those who see value in what we're doing, come on, hop in. It's dirt cheap. Cheap money. $97 and 95 bucks plus tax, because I gotta pay the tax guy. But basically 100 bucks for each session per month. Okay. And like I just showed you guys, even if you're using a small account, you can make more than enough in just one trade to pay for several months in advance. It's up to you. So that's that, guys. Thank you for everybody who's been rocking with me in these free classes for so long. I appreciate you guys. And I know this is going to be watched by hundreds of people later on. So I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much for all that we've went through together. And many of you guys who've been rocking with us for a very, very long time. And I don't want to call names because I don't want to miss people. Baby, I miss his voice, and and all the others. You know what I mean? I really appreciate everything that we've done together over the years. So, guys, I'm gonna sign off here, and like I said, I'm not gone. It's just that I'm going to be doing the New York session starting next Wednesday. So my Wednesdays are going to be solely just for the futures traders membership. Okay, so I'll still be here, but just that, but no longer the free classes. All right. But again, you can join me tonight because I'm going to be in the futures trading room tonight for the Asian session. So if you want to join me then, I'm more than welcome to join. Okay, you guys, I love you guys deeply. Thank you for hearing my voice. Thank you for hearing what I had to say. I really wanted to just tell you guys exactly what is going on in your life, what this whole tariff war is about, and how you can fix this problem. Okay. All right, you guys. Much love, peace, and air grease. If this was a good class for you guys, please type a 500 in the box. Please type a 500. I just want to say thank you guys for everything. I had no idea I was going to end up shedding tears, but God, oftentimes when I'm speaking in groups, he does stuff like that, and I keep a little napkin here so I can dab my eyes. I can dab my eyes. If my story can change a person's life and change the way they see things, then let people make fun of me. I don't care. What difference does it make? They talked about me when I, went broke. They talked about me then. First, I was the man, and then when I went broke, I was the joker for everybody. I was the scoundrel. I was the this and that when I lost everything. So I'll go from being the man, being invited to speak on stages and on radio shows and interviews and this and that, to the person who's being made fun of and talked about. So whatever. Let them talk. But if my story blessed you, then I did my job today. I did what God wanted me to do. And I'm humbled at this point. So if I have to cry in front of people, if that is what God requires of me so I can get the point across for you, then I've done it. Doesn't matter. It would have bothered me back then, but it doesn't bother me now. Not much. It still bothers me a bit because it's embarrassing, but it is what it is. I'm here to serve him. And if this is what he needs so people can really capture the moment and really know that I'm serious on what I'm saying, and it's going to make you change your life for the good so that he can reach you and touch your life, and I just did my job, embarrassment or not. So anyway, I guess I'm being long-winded. I'll go ahead and cut this class. Yeah, Derek, I got tears too, bro. Yeah, yeah.